I'm proud to have sent the first suspect for trial here, and I will continue to send more until the message is received.
Detective Raven, I know precisely who you are.
How you doing?
Whoa,
Good, how you
what's
doing?
going on? When are we releasing Christmas?
Okay, is it too late? Like, should I get rid of it? Like,
I
what do
think
you
turn it into the Easter tree. That's what I do.
But then now it's too early.
Recycling.
Well, all right. Well, I didn't know what to do, but it's there.
Don't let her judge you. You keep it up
You
as long
do
as you want. Your
whatever
name
you-
is Chris. You can have Christmas as long as you want.
Any Chris gets whatever they want.
Listen, I get it. Chris to Chris. I mean, Rebecca, you got the second coolest name in the room, so I mean, I got to take your
Thank you,
advice.
thank you. I'll
Second
take
place.
that. I'll take
Silver
it.
medal.
No, I want to start with Rebecca. I don't know if you know about this, but Chris has accused you of making him break character several times while filming this movie. I was wondering, what's your side of the story? 90 minutes? Do you need that? What do you have to say about yourself?
It's hard to not have a rapport with this man. I mean, we are serious. It's fun. We shoot. We're professional. But then on the day, it's really hard when you have an earpiece to not take the piss out of each other
That's the truth.
and make each other's close-ups really difficult.
I love it. And then, of course, you're filming this movie on screen together, but from what I understand, on separate sound stages.
Yeah.
So just what was that experience like, starting with you, Chris? Just like, how was that different than your other films?
Well, it was definitely different. I mean, I have done films where there are characters that I'm interacting with who are not actually there, you know, that I might be talking to a mocap actor. But here there was, you know, she's an AI character, so she's living kind of on a screen in essence around this LA municipal courtroom, which we shot inside of a volume. So it felt and looked very much like what you would expect that courtroom would look like. But my interaction with her was all through an earpiece. And so I was talking to her and I'm listening to her and she's listening to me, but the communication was not looking into a human being's eyes. And oftentimes the magic that happens with actors is when the two of you are sitting across from each other and just having a moment. But I think that really helped and kind of lent itself to creating what is ultimately not a human interaction, but rather with something that's just a thin veil over what should be a human interaction. And I think it was really helpful to create that sort of what the chemistry that should live between a man fighting for his life and the judge who's AI accused.
Did you ever get the question if you wanted me in the room? I did. I just remember that now.
Really?
Yeah, I think I had on my close-ups if I wanted to interact opposite you.
Yeah.
And I remember
you said
distinctly
no?
saying no.
Yeah.
I think I would have had it would have been really hard to shift from an AI, a perspective who doesn't have an emotion or shouldn't have an emotion behind her eyes.
Yeah. I don't know that I got that question because I don't know practically it would have worked to have you in the room.
It wouldn't have
because
worked
the
for you.
camera need to kind of move around and capture the whole space. And
They
so
were like, "Do you want to see Chris?" And I went, "No." Well, which one?
I know what would it have been like. Yeah, I get it. You don't have to tell Chris, but and then Chris, you
know what I mean.
mentioned asking to be strapped to that chair, and you're an action star, so like, what was that decision like? Like, what did that change? Like, how did that feel?
Well, it was a practical request. I know that there are a lot of actors who really like to force themselves into strange positions because it helps them in their process. They're more method. I wouldn't say that's who I am. I would say really it was practical because the first time I tried to fight and pull myself out of the chair, I pulled myself out of the chair. And so I thought, well, that's not good. I'm not supposed to be able to get out of the chair. Yeah, I mean, so
just
obviously
what
they
it
had to
is.
use they had
You need
to
to
use.
work with what you have.
So they strapped the chair together so that I could fight against it. And then I found that, wow, that really helps to sell the idea of being trapped and feeling claustrophobic. And wow, it's wild to not be able to touch your face for an hour because the takes that we did were very long, upwards of an hour long. We'd go through the whole movie. And so to not be able to wipe a tear off your face or wipe sweat out of your eyes or it's
Even when you feel the release after all the tension, 40-minute takes,
Yeah.
and you are exhausted, to then not have the possibility to touch your neck or to adjust,
Yeah.
to reset. There's
Yeah.
no resetting. It's just a constant going.
Yeah, for sure. And then Rebecca, for your character, you're obviously playing this AI judge that, as the movie goes on, is evolving, is changing, and in some ways becoming more personable. So like, how did that, go into your acting choices as it went on?
We had so many discussions prior, me and Timo by ourselves, together with Chris, with the writers, about what the arc was. And I was intrigued by the fact that it was quite indecisive. I don't think Timo exactly knew where he wanted the cracks to land. We knew where we wanted to start. and the complexity of AI just doing the single-handed job that she's there to do. And then the idea that by mimicking is how I saw it, by mimicking a human being, because that's what AI does, gradually understanding, processing bits of herself, but also knowing that if she interacts too much as a human being, she's also questioning the position that she has and she can be shut down. So there's all of these different layers of never actually being free to be what you are designed to do.
Yeah, and I think the movie is like so cool. I mean, I had a really good time with it, but I think a large part of it is because this is in the very, close future. I think the choice of making it 2029 feels like tomorrow, and then if it was 2030, it'd feel like it's in 10 years. So like, do you guys have a view of that future? Like, do you think something like this could happen?
Man, it's really hard to say. I mean, in hindsight, 3 years doesn't feel that long. Like 3 years ago, it doesn't feel that. But into the future, it's an incredibly long time. I mean, especially with Moore's law and technology doubling, the speed of technology doubling every year. I mean, we're at a place where we're on the precipice of having general intelligence, and so it's nearly impossible to fathom what the next 3 years could look like. It could be relatively the same, and it also, I could buy a world where it is vastly different. And so I'm just kind of along for the ride, cautiously optimistic, trying not to let it shatter my peace. But there's a lot to be concerned about.
And then I have a quick fun question for you guys. If you guys can choose any one of your past co-stars to defend you in the court of law, who would you choose and why? Starting with Rebecca.
Past co-stars.
Oh, I can't pick you. No,
Past
dash it.
co-stars.
I wanted to pick you in Zero Dark 30.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I'm going with that one. What were you called, Chris?
Justin.
I thought
the
maybe
character's
Chris,
name
it was
Justin.
overall.
Yeah, I only play characters
Yeah.
called Chris.
Justin.
Man, past co-stars, I'd have to go like Tony Stark. I think he would do. I think he'd do well, because even if he couldn't defend
I haven't had
me,
a Tony Stark.
You haven't?
No, I have an Ethan Hunt, but he just runs fast.
Yeah. He's like, Ethan, help!
Don't worry,
where'd you
save
go?"
yourself.
That was a bad choice.
I would call either of you guys, honestly. And then Chris, just so I don't know if my eyes were deceiving me, but did I catch Perd Hapley, aka Jay Jackson, in this movie?
Yep.
Okay.
That was a little Parks and Rec Easter egg. I was like, who we need to cast is this? Jay Jackson.
No, that was excellent. Do you think Burt Macklin can hang with the Mercy Court? Do you think he would crack this case?
I think he would. I think he would be completely confident that he could, and then would summarily be executed 90 minutes in. Be like, "Oh wait, I made a mistake." No, I think he would love this movie. I'll tell you that. He'd sit down with some popcorn in 3D and be freaked out. And I think anybody.
Would he have the glasses, even though he didn't need them?
That's right. He wouldn't need them. He wouldn't even need them. He would be like, he'd have no glasses. Be like, this movie's so blurry, but I love it.